What's up, YouTube? Today is Wednesday. You guys know what that means. We are back for another new comic book day vlog. So today we are gonna go over the books I read last week. I got a couple more things to show you after that, and then we're gonna head to the LCS, pick up our new pulls for the week, and then yeah, we'll see what else happens from there. Let's get right into it. All right, I have here with me the 4 books that I read last week. It was a light week last week, a little bit of a light week this week, but we got some bangers coming out this week, so stay tuned for that. But starting off with Batman, issue number, what is issue number? Issue number 11, written by Matt Fraction, art by Jorge Jimenez. This issue was all right. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, we're leading up to the if you guys saw my last vlog, I talked about it a little bit. It's leading up to the Bad Seeds event, and I'm not going to be pulling the Bad Seeds event because I'm not tapped into the other Gotham books. So yeah, this I'm probably going to be dropping after issue 12. So this is kind of leading up to that event. So I'm not super interested. There's just a lot going on in this run that I'm like starting to lose interest a little bit. In this one, we got the Oho coming back. I think that's how you say the villain's name. Anyway, we got this villain coming back. She is pretty cool, I will admit. She's a cool villain, but it's like there's so many. Then there's like the Minotaur. Like we didn't get any of him this issue, but we had people talking about him. Like there's just a lot going on. Then what happened with the Joker? We got the Joker that one issue, and we haven't seen him. Anyway, regardless, this issue was all right. I know I'm planning on dropping this, maybe hopping back on after the event's done. So whatever, we'll get into it. Next up, we have Supergirl Survive, issue number 2. This was a great issue. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It kind of jumped back and forth a little bit. So we started off where we did like a time jump. It was like 150 some days after. They called it K-Day, which like Krypton Day or whatever you want to call it. But the day that Krypton exploded, essentially. We had Kara and Baby Clark going through it like a intergalactic train station or whatever. They're lost. There's like someone following them. And then they find a mysterious stranger to help them, and he is not a good guy, as we find out. And then we jump back, and we find out that it was actually the Lantern Corps that ended up saving them from the moon of Krypton. And it just ended up at the cliffhanger of the last issue was just a monster. It's just some random monster on the moon. Anyway, this issue was great. I really enjoyed it. I think it's cool. We've got some lantern stuff going on. I'm not going to spoil too much for towards the end of it, but I'd highly recommend it. It is kind of like, I guess it's kind of slightly tying in with the Supergirl movie because it's got Lobo in here, and I guess we're just throwing Lobo and Supergirl together now. That's the vibe that we're going with. But anyway, I don't think we're going to get much Loboing after this issue. But yeah, super cool. Definitely excited to see where this series ends up going. It was a great second issue. Next up, we had Absolute Green Lantern, issue number 16, written by Al Ewing, art by Sid Kotian. This was another amazing issue, leading up from the last amazing issue. This series is really, really picking up right now. And I'm glad that I've stuck through the little bit confusing parts that I didn't super understand. But in this one, man, there's a lot going on. I think you guys, I'm not going to really get too deep into what was going on. We kind of let it a little bit off from the fight with Tomar Ray and Joe Mullen. Yeah, a lot happened in this issue. I don't really want to recap it all together, but at the end, I will say we do get introduced to a new Absolute character, Absolute Jessica Cruz, who seemingly is a bad guy, which does kind of coincide with her mainline introduction as well. So kind of cool. Yeah, it was super cool. The art on this is amazing. Sid Kotian is absolutely killing it. I know I liked Janoy Lindsay's art, being the main artist, but if Sid Kotian's gonna take over on this, I would not mind because their art is absolutely amazing. I heard someone call this like a lot of people compare this to like Dragon Ball Z, and I think it's kind of funny because it is like it gives anime very, very heavily. Anyway, I gave it a 5 out of 5. Great issue. Next up, the big one of the week. If you guys watched my last week's vlog till the end, you will have seen me talk about this, but Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue number 12, the final issue. Man, this was just amazing. I ended up rereading it again, and man, this series was amazing. Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez killed it. Absolutely killed it on this series. I'm so glad I got to meet Javier Rodriguez. I got to talk to him a little bit. He did, when I talked to him, I asked him about the final, like, 3 issues, I think, because I think issue 10 had come out, so I think it was the last 2 issues that we were waiting on, and he did hype them up and said that they were going to be special, and he did not lie when he told me that. Wow, so amazing. I highly recommend. I'm sure there's going to be a million trade paperbacks. This needs to get like a deluxe edition. Like, I want to see this in big format, the art, because this series is amazing. Pick it up if you can. Single issues, trade paperback, doesn't matter. I think everybody should read this. Doesn't matter if you know nothing about Martian Manhunter or anything about anything, really. I think it's just a great story overall. It's very trippy. It's so cool. So amazing. Some of the best art I've ever seen. Oh, panel of the week. I almost forgot. Jeez, this guy sucks. Panel of the week is right at the end here. I mean, there was a million probably panels of the week in this book. Every panel could be panel of the week, but I think it is, there's 2 pages. There's this page right here on this side, and then it mirrors, when you turn the page, it mirrors John. And this is like the scene where John and Bridget is his wife's name. I almost forgot for a second, but where John and Bridget, like, they see each other's memories, they see each other's lives, they're each other's struggles and everything, and they come to like a realization with each other. Happiness beats despair in the end. Great story, just amazing. I could talk forever about it, but we don't got the time for that. We have to move on. That's all I read last week, but I have a couple more things to show you. I pre-ordered these a while ago and they finally showed up in the mail, but we have 2 collected edition. One's a trade paperback. One is an omnibus, technically. I don't know if we can call it. I mean, it is omnibus size, but anyway, let's get into it. We have, let me put this down, Geiger, volume number 5. Geiger is a series that's coming out in single issues, an ongoing series right now, but I am a trade waiter on that. This trade took forever to come out. I can't even remember when the 4th volume came out. I read it so long ago. I read it right when it came out, and yeah, so I'm super excited to tap back into Geiger. I'm probably gonna have to reread a little bit to remember where we're at, but I mean, if you guys have been watching the videos over the past couple weeks, you know that I have so many trade paperbacks that I just got. So my reading log is like completely insane right now. And these came at the, honestly, I'm not gonna be mad, but they came at the worst time because my reading log is so backed up. I have so much stuff to read. That's okay though. This man's, it's like the sufferings from success. You know what I mean? Not like that, but you guys know the meme I'm talking about. Anyway, next up, we have The Swamp Thing by Ram V. Oh, I didn't say who this was by. This is by Geoff Johns and Gary Frank. There's also a bunch of other artists on this, so I don't know if Gary Frank had some fill-ins on that, but anyway, Geoff Johns is the writer, and he's amazing. So, I mean, this is a whole, like the whole Ghost Machine universe is a whole thing. I'm not like the most tapped in. I have Junkyard Joe, I have Geiger and Redcoat whenever it decides to come out, but I trade weight on all of those, so it's like, you know, I only can keep them up so much because the trades take forever to come out. Regardless, let me stop yapping. Swamp Thing by Ram V and Mike Perkins omnibus. This is I wish it wasn't an omnibus because they like bumped up the price. There was a little controversy around this book, but I ended up getting it for half off anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, Ram V, you guys know, he's my guy, and I have like, I don't know if 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 Rom V books in my to be read list right now, including this. So definitely gonna have my Rom V fix so soon once I get through my reading log. Like I said, I've been so busy. The World Cup's going on, we have F1's going on, NBA trade season, trying to keep up with that. I mean, my work's been super busy. It's been crazy. I like literally, I pretty much read all my comics besides, but I reread Martian Man. So I read all my comics last week, or not last week, last night, because I finally got some free time to do that. But regardless, that's all I got to show you guys. We got not a stacked week. What I would call it a stacked week. It's not stacked in numbers, it's stacked in quality. We have Absolute Batman, Absolute Catwoman. I'm forgetting something. There's a couple other things. Bangers. We got bangers this week. I got the Absolute Batman drip on, as you guys can see. Let us head to the LCS and go pick up our pulls. All right. Welcome everybody to the Car Yap session, a new segment we're trying. I wanted to space to talk about things other than comics, and I don't know, my short drive to the LCS I feel like is a good space to do that. So we're on the way, we'll be there in a few minutes, but in that time, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, this is mostly going to be a space I'm probably mostly going to talk about sports, maybe movies here and there. Regardless, what happened this week. We have World Cup going crazy. I guess, okay, we need to start off with my allegiances. I mean, I'm obviously American. My dad's from India. India is not in the World Cup, so that's unfortunate. The USA has had a whole bunch of debacles going on. Loud car in front of me. Sorry. Yeah, this might be footage might be a little shaky. Audio might be a little crappy, but we're gonna try to figure it out. Anyway, USA has been a whole debacle. They got absolutely rinsed by Belgium, and Kevin De Bruyne didn't even play. Crazy. My GOAT, Kevin De Bruyne. I'm a Man City fan. Boo, tomatoes, hate me if you want. I don't care. I've been a Man City fan for a decent amount of time, so it's not like I'm a super bandwagon. Calm down. I was there for Aguero. Don't worry about it. It was the tail end of Aguero, but I was there for Aguero and Raheem Sterling. So we're okay. Don't worry about it. Chill. Anyway, Norway absolutely just also destroyed Brazil. Erling Haaland, my GOAT. What else? Oh my God, Argentina with the comeback from down 2-0 at 79 minutes. They were down 2-0 and came back with 3 goals in like 13 minutes. Awesome. Messi, the GOAT. How many times am I going to say the GOAT? Anyway, World Cup's popping off. You guys hopefully have been tuning into that as well. What else? F1. Silverstone was something, I guess. Shout out Charles Leclerc. He got a W after a very bad season for him. But man, Kimi, I'm a Kimi Antonelli guy. Sorry guys. I will say this is my first year of F1, like actually like locking into F1, and I just love Kimi Antonelli. I'm sorry guys, he's so likable. How could I not love him? But I also love Charles Leclerc, so good for him. But man, Kimi he hit the curb, his car got messed up. It was all bad. Shout out Lewis though, I guess. I mean, also a Lewis guy, so I can't be mad. We're pulling into the I don't know what else I gotta say. He's got like a news camera. What, we're doing some news. I gotta go hop on the news and see. They can get my channel on the news. No, I'm just joking. What else? I don't think I got much else to talk about, y'all. We're at the LCS. I mean, I normally do my welcome to Lost World of Wonders, but I just pulled into the parking lot. It's kind of anticlimactic now, I guess. But we're here. I mean, you guys can see the sign behind me. Where are we at? Yeah, there we go. Heck yeah. We're here. We're gonna go get our pulls. Let's freaking do it. Y'all know what time it is. Dawn runner check. I don't know if these are new. Darkhold. I feel like, no, I think I'm just earlier than I normally look. Dawn of the Dead. And Dazzler. It's gonna keep happening every time. There's a couple cons coming up. I'm definitely gonna be checking those. Gotta keep the yoke up. Anyway. Let's keep looking for something else. I did just find some Extremity single issues. They are $4.50 though. It's a little much for cover prices. $3.99. They got 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. I don't know. I love Daniel Warren Johnson though. Y'all know that. Sick covers. This one's dope. This one would be dope to get signed. Like an orange or like a blue to match the title. That'd be super dope. Oh my god, don't drop it. Might have to come back for those at some point. We'll see. Not today. I'm looking for other stuff for now. Also found a couple Moon is Following Us variants. This is the wraparound B cover for issue 1. Dope. Second printing of issue 1. Second printing of issue 2. Issue 3. Issue 3 B cover. I think it's also a wraparound. I don't know. Sick though. Might also have to come back for those. Pulls have been secured. Let's head home and show you what I got. All right. We've made it back to the house. I have with me the 5 pulls of the week. Only 5, but there's some heat in here, so I'm not too mad about it. All right, starting off with Supergirl, issue number 15. This is written and drawn by Sophie Campbell. Art by, colors by Tamara Bonvillain. We're still in Kandor, seemingly, in this one, and we have Luminary back at the Luminary here is back in the book, seemingly. Yeah, I don't know. This Supergirl run has been, it started off really good. I really enjoyed it. And then it got, I don't know, it slowed down. I feel like it's kind of spinning its wheels a little bit now. So we'll see. There's some event going on, the Superman event going on that's going to tie everything, all the super books together. And then, I don't know, we'll see what happens from there. I might end up dropping Supergirl. But with that being said, there's Supergirl. Excited for that. Next up, we have Ben 10. Issue number 3. Yeah, why am I tripping? Issue number 3. Written by, I think it's Joe Casey. Art by Carey. I always mess it up. Regardless, we got Ben 10, issue number 3. I've been so on the Ben 10 comic. You know, I was really hyped for it at first, and it's been all right. So you know, I can't. I'm giving it a couple more issues. This one, maybe the next one, because I know the next one is starting a different arc with a different writer. So maybe that'll be better. Maybe I just don't like the writing with this writer. Regardless, Ben 10, issue number 3. Excited for that. Next up, we have Bleeding Hearts, issue number 6. written by Dennis Camp, art by not Stippen Morian, right? Yeah, it's Stippen Morian. I'm tripping. Art by Stippen Morian. Bleeding Hearts is amazing. What's one of my favorite ongoings? One of my favorite books, period. Life has been so busy right now, but I've been really meaning to do some other videos besides my new comic book day vlogs. Like, I want to do a favorite ongoing video and like a favorite, like, overall comic of all time, like collected editions, everything, regardless. But anyway, Bleeding Hearts issue 6, Dennis Camp is absolutely killing it. Seems like this issue is gonna be a big one. I think we're gonna have to. Poke is gonna have to decide what he's gonna do, because Rabbit might get caught seemingly by the look of this cover here. So we're gonna have to see what happens. I'm super excited for it though. Oh my gosh. Next up, Absolute Catwoman, issue number 2. Absolute Catwoman issue number 1 was amazing. So I'm super excited to see where issue number 2 goes. We got the tease and introduction of Absolute Cassandra Cain at the end of the last issue. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this issue, but super excited for that. But the main event of the week, you guys see the shirt, you know what it is. Absolute Batman issue number, was it 22? We're on issue 22 of this already. That's so insane. Written by Scott Snyder. Looks like we have Matthew Dellavedova on the art for this one. Interesting. Not Nick Dragotta. That's all right. I mean, Matthew Dellavedova usually does pretty great art. I've only seen a couple things from him, but regardless, this is what I'm reading this week. You guys probably could have expected that based on the shirt, based on the hype, but Absolute Batman has been amazing. Yeah, we had the Joker tease, like introduction, like not introduction, but like the meeting between Bruce and Jack Grimm at the end of last issue. So honestly, I'm super hyped to see where this leads off. Every one of these issues has so much going on, I kind of forget how much goes on in them. So super excited to tap in. Let's do that right now. All right, it is officially, oh, look at that. Lanterns. Super hyped for that. Regardless, it is officially time for Absolute Batman, issue number 22. Let's do it. Wow. That was, as always, insane. Let's talk about it. Absolute Batman, issue number 22. This issue really didn't much touch on the end of the last issue, but that's all right. We got pretty much the backstory of Harley Quinn in this one. Got to know about her mom. She was telling the story to Bruce while they were like out hiding from the Robins and stuff, and they were fighting these groups of cops, and the Robins were tracking them down. And Harley was telling her story interspersed in between there. And yeah, we got to know the backstory of Harley, about her mom, who must have worked for Jack Grimm or something seemingly at the beginning, and she's trying to track him down and doing a bunch of research for him. And then it takes a bigger turn towards the end. And yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because there's a couple big maybe reveals at the end. Who knows? I mean, it is, at this point, everything seems to be up for interpretation, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I definitely don't want to spoil too much. I highly recommend checking out the final issue. I'll definitely talk a little bit more spoilers next week, so hopefully you guys will have checked it out by then. But yeah, this was definitely a 5 out of 5 issue. Amazing. The art by Werther Dell'Edera was super awesome as well. I forgot, as soon as I started reading it, I was like, oh man, this looks like something I've read before. And I was trying to remember it, and I was like, Green Lantern Dark, I think it was what it was called. Yeah, Green Lantern Dark. I was going to say Dark Patterns, but that's the Batman book. Green Lantern Dark was drawn by Werther Dell'Edera, and as soon as I saw some of the faces in the drawings, I was like, looks really familiar. But he did a great job. It was is it Werther? It's Werther Dell'Edera, right? Not Matthew. Yeah, Werther Dell'Edera. Anyway, I'm trying to find a good page to show you that's not too spoilery. This is a pretty good one. There we go. Very good dynamic art, and it's not Nick Dragotta. It's not as clean as Nick Dragotta, but it is. I like kind of like the dirtiness of it in a way. You know what I mean? It feels more, for this issue at least, it definitely fits. So I don't mind it. But regardless, 5 out of 5 issue. As always, Absolute Batman is absolutely peak. I'll say it a million times over again. But with that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. So I wanted to thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end, if you made it to this far and you aren't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. We're super close to 200 subscribers, so I'd love to get there. I think for 200 subscribers, I'll definitely be doing some sort of special video that's not a new comic book day video. So stay on the lookout for that. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll catch you next week, and peace out, y'all.